Okay, hey, well, good evening. Magandang gabi ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating program. Okay, happy New Year ho sa inyong lahat. Today is the 5th of January, no? Kumbaga, second day of the week natin officially, no? Dahil Monday kahapon. Kanya nga lang medyo hindi ho magandang balita dahil nasa lockdown 3 na ho tayo ngayon, no? At mas malala ho ito, no? Because mas grabe pa to. Yung springtime nating lockdown 1, mas grabe ho itong ating kasalukuyang sitwasyon. But anyway, it's a wonderful evening. It's a happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday ho tayo, no? Happy Tuesday ho rito. At syempre, kasama ho natin yung na-miss natin. Doon siya nag-Christmas. Doon siya nag-celebrate ng kanyang birthday. Doon din siya nag-New Year. No, kakaibang experience. But let's find out. No? Let's say hello doon sa ating pinakamamahal na abogada. Walang iba kundi si Attorney Dana Quinto. Attorney, magandang gabi. Welcome sa iyong programa.
Magandang gabi, Mr. Laragan. And yes, magandang gabi sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin. Europe, UK, everywhere else around the world. It's a happy Tuesday. Kahit na, as you said, the announcement in respect of lockdown number 3 is it's hindi ganun kaganda, but probably much necessary given the figures that are being circulated by the government. 60,000 new cases today in the UK. Statistics nila is 1 in 50 are COVID positive. However, on the other hand, they are saying as well that the vaccination rollout is being pushed as quickly as they can. So hopefully this is the last stretch. Kaya kapit tayo lahat. Hanap ng positive. So today, positive is Happy Tuesday. Back to usual programming. I'm here, as you can see, back in Bedford in my cardigan, not in my usual shalwar kameez, but I just want to say thank you. Maraming salamat po for traveling with me, for celebrating with me, and for having that 2-week adventure with me. So thank you very much sa lahat ng sumubaybay, sumuporta, and agreed, who had been so patient with the imperfect internet connection. Kasama din yun sa adventures natin. So we're back now here in the UK, back with usual natin na mga kasama, kapamilya, colleagues. Here, we're all in this together. So here we are. How are you, Mr. Laragan? Kamusta po ang New Year nyo? Kamusta po ang
New Year and everything?
New Year and everything. And
everything, okay naman. Okay lang naman. Medyo malungkot lang dahil siyempre, ito na naman, di ba? We wanted this to go away as quick as possible. People are now having more problems dahil may limitations tayo. Meron tayong mga restrictions ngayon. Hindi nakamukha ng dati, no?
Absolutely.
So, we have a lot of restrictions nowadays. Pero wala tayong magagawa. Ganun talaga eh. We have to bite the bullet. Ika nga, no? Talagang kailangan harapin natin to, no? At magsama-sama talaga. It has to be an effort of everybody. Hindi pa pwedeng iasa sa gobyerno. We have to do our part, no? In having this thing go away as soon as possible, no? Magtatagal ba to? It might
Absolutely.
go, for sinasabi mo, 2022 pa, no? Although we are having hope with this vaccine. Kanya nga lang, tama yung sinabi mo, 1 in 50, no? Diba? Is infected. Diba?
1 in 50, correct.
Oo, 1 in 50. Parang ganun sabi ni Paul, Professor Witty ba yun? Sabi ni Professor Witty? Yeah, Boris, today.
Yes.
I missed the press conference at 5 o'clock today, no? Yung kanilang news conference ni Boris. But I was kind of busy today. Pero, so ikaw, on the whole, it was a very wonderful experience being in Islamabad, in Pakistan, in the work and some kind of a holiday combination, no? Parang holiday come work or work come holiday, no?
Work holiday, work holiday. We're very vigilant na yung situation dito sa home natin. We still call it home in the UK. is not very great, but hopefully nakapag-contribute tayo ng positive vibes because dun din sa kanila may iba namang as I call it, they have their own lockdown of circumstances. May COVID din naman doon. And I think everywhere in the world, we're all facing all sorts of struggles, all sorts of limitations, all sorts of restrictions. And the thing to do with any situation is to find something positive, is to find your hope, build your hope if necessary, create your hope if necessary. And sama-sama talaga tayo because mahirap kapag hindi natin mapagkumpol-kumpol kung ano man yung natitirang hope at positive vibes natin. And if we put it all together, hopefully mas magiging exponential pa yung magiging strength natin lahat. So I think we'll start off today with those Happy Tuesday points kasi nga naman we're looking at challenging times ahead. Ika nga natin. Ako, chinek ko, meron palang Mr. Laragan. May calculator kung, ewan ko kung totoo ha, yung Omni calculator, nakita ko lang sa news kanina, kung kailan daw ako mababakunahan. Lalagay mo yung edad mo. Lalagay mo yung edad mo, tapos
Saan mo nakita yan? Saan ang link na yan? Where can we find it? So, saan mo nakita yan?
Actually, nakita ko lang sa MSN when I was scrolling sa usual news. Yeah, because alam mo naman, naghahanap ako ng may import ko na news today. So I was scrolling general news for today. So I thought, find out kailan ka mababakunahan sa UK. I think it's called Omni Calculator, but I'll check on that mamaya. So all I needed to do.
Oh, is it affiliated with the government? Is it a government affiliated thing?
I'm not even sure, so
baka mga ano lang, mga ano.
It was just a curiosity for me. I think
yes.
lang nila, they have statistics from the government and they did some sort of analysis into it. So this is an estimate. So ako daw, between July to October 2021 pa daw ako. Given I can say that I'm 32 years old, wala naman akong severe underlying conditions. So I'm very much towards the end of the priority list. So that, for me, that's something na curious lang ako kung saan ako doon. But what they're saying, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers na nakatutok kay Boris since the other day, said na the top 4 most vulnerable of us here in the UK would hopefully have their first vaccination by mid-Feb. So that's a taste of hope for us na yung pinaka-vulnerable sa atin mabigay ng protection. But then, the protection would come into force 2 to 3 weeks after no vaccine. So we're really looking at, katulad ng sinasabi nila, lahat, a springtime sort of light at the end of the tunnel. So, that's something to look forward to, something to work for.
Okay, before the variant came out, we were hoping because we already came out with a vaccine, and we were hoping daw by ano ba yung mahal na araw? Easter next year.
Easter, yes, Easter.
By Easter time, more or less, we're back to a bit of normalcy, no? Pero with this new variant that we have, which is more contagious than the original one, medyo we play everything by ear, like for example, our lockdown extends till February. So a lot of restrictions, and they're talking about tier 5 pa yata, di ba? Before we were on tier 4. May tier 5 pang sinasabi. Diyos ko.
Tier 5 na.
Yung tier 3 mataas na dati, naging tier 4 pa. Tapos ngayon may tier 5 pa na pinag-uusapan. But ganun talaga, we have to, yun nga, kawawa naman ng mga tao. You just don't know, no? Hindi mo alam. Some people, yung bang, how would you call that expression, yung lumusot sa cracks ba na parang hindi na nabiyayaan ng gobyerno. Some other people talaga wala
fell out of the system.
Diba?
Yeah,
through the system.
True.
Oo, sayang. Buti kayo, attorney, ikaw kayo, you work from home somehow or you go to the office pa yata, di ba? Nag-opisina ka pa ba? Mag-opisina ka pa ba?
Post-travel isolation po ako, but most of our colleagues are working remotely at the moment. However, which I will tell you later, the reason why sometimes we still have to go to the office is that because, in effect, the legal sector is open. The judiciary system, the legal system is open. So hindi tuloy ang mga, I will speak more about it, tuloy ang mga kaso, tuloy ang bukas ang ating mga korte.
Ayan, okay. Attorney, mag-break naman tayo, no? At siguro basahin lang natin yung mga unang mga pagbati ng mga kaibigan natin, no? May mga pagbati rito. Ayan, si DJ Red, in-Indian tayo last time, no? In-Indian tayo. Good evening, Sunny Laragan Show and Attorney Dana Quinto. Good evening. Meron yatang, hinahanap ko kasi inihintay kita, Red, no? Doon sa iyong problem na itatanong mo kay Attorney kasi I saw it somewhere, she was telling me, pero siyempre hindi ko na matandaan yung problema niya, no? And so we were hoping for her to open up that time when she was around, no? Pero good evening sa'yo, DJ Red. Nako, pagka Attorney, siguro babatiin tayo sa radyo kung saan mang nagbo-broadcast si DJ Red. No? Oh, DJ Red.
Kung ma-remember mo yung tanong mo ulit for last time, just send it across and we'll tackle it later on.
Ayan, okay. Rudy Librojo. Librojo sa kanila. Librojo. Hi, good evening po, Sir Sunny and Attorney Lovely Dana. Wow, happy Tuesday. All kababayan from Belfast. Ito, bumabati ulit si DJ Red.
Happy Tuesday, Rudy.
Happy Tuesday, no?
And Nia, happy Tuesday.
Okay, good evening, Attorney. Sabi, good evening, Sir Sunny and Attorney Dana. Sabi niya, no? O, DJ, ano mo na, kung gusto mo, i-PM mo lang sa akin pero pag PM mo
na.
while I'm doing the show, baka hindi ko mapansin, di ba? Or while we are doing the show. Si Ma'am Cora Carsola says, good evening.
Cora.
Ayan, sabi niya, good evening, Sir Sunny, Attorney Dana and all. Ayan, binaabangan tayo niya, no?
Good evening, Ma'am Cora.
Ayan. Si Edgardo Cagahatyan Enriquez, naputol, no? Good evening, sir. Haba kasi ng pangalan mo, Edgardo. No? Magagalit sa iyo yung mga ano. Okay, good evening, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana Quinto. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Interesting ang question ni Miles Mape about job security. Oh. May question na ba?
Hanapin natin yun. Nasaan yun?
Hanapin natin yun. Hindi ko alam yun, ha?
Hanapin yun. Evening, Edgardo. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're keeping safe and well.
Ayan. Si Roslyn Dube, namis yung kanyang message. No? Magandang gabi po sa lahat. Si Farida, Ahmad, AHMAD.
Ahmed. Ahmed. Hi, Farida.
Sometimes,
akala
ko di-pronounce it.
Hi, Farida. Good evening.
Ahmad. Farida, hi. Good evening.
Farida,
si Anna
good evening.
Kulam is watching us. Tess Kalub from Canada is watching us. Wait, Kamar.
Anna and Tess.
Our very good friend, your boss, no? Is Kamar. Is it Reman or
Kamran.
Rekman? How do you pronounce it?
Oh, Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman is watching.
Hi, Mr. Rahman, no?
Kamar. My boss is watching.
Ayan.
Hello.
How do you pronounce the surname? Is it Reman or?
Rahman, yeah.
Reman.
Okay. Mr. Rahman.
Good evening. Ellen Hills. Oh, yes. It's nice seeing you again, Attorney, Dana, no? Ellen Hills is watching us, no? Sabi niya, no? John Vincent Pedregal Balanova is watching us. Bev Perch here is watching us. Good evening. Si Ohaya Himle Marinel is watching us. Thank you very much. Rica Laroya, thank you.
Thank you.
Kat Arsiaga and Lito Valero Fami. This is the president of Caviteños UK. Caviteños UK, si Lito, founder.
Yeah.
Miles Mape.
Wow, fantastic.
Ayan, okay.
Ayun,
Miles
si
Mape.
Miles Mape pala.
Yeah, Miles Mape and Virginia Alona, no, from Switzerland. Yung nag-aaya sa atin ng,
Virginia,
ng lunch ba, merienda, no? Pero all the way to from Sweden. So good evening sa iyo, no? Who else? Lorna B. White. These are quite new. We have a lot of new viewers tonight.
Bago.
Nagro-roll call po kasi
kami. Sine-check namin yung attendance. Sine-check namin yung attendance.
Exactly.
Three absences lang ang pwede per year.
Strike out, no? Good evening, Attorney Dana. Sunny, happy Three Kings for tomorrow. Bukas ba ang Three Kings? Ganun ba ang
Of course.
Hindi ko alam yun,
Of course.
Okay. Before you make questions, we have a question from Miles Mape. No, it's not coming up on the system, but I'll read it out to you later, Attorney. Tapos,
go
magbalik
ahead.
lang muna tayo, no? Let's have a short break.
That's
And when
fine.
we come back, ano ba? May di-discuss ka ba ngayon, attorney? Ano ba ang i-discuss mo?
Yeah.
Meron. Okay. Meron
Very
di-discuss si
briefly,
attorney.
meron po. Very, very briefly. So, andito naman tayo. We're approaching lockdown in the UK.
Okay.
Starting from 12 midnight to 9. So, we might, yung mga kababayan natin might be asking, so ano mangyayari sa legal sector? Ano mangyayari sa bahay ko na binibenta ko? Or I'm trying to buy a house? Ano mangyayari sa immigration ko? What's happening with my family matter? Or with my
Yan.
case hearing that
Yan.
is listed in the next 3 weeks. So these questions will give guidance
Wow.
as set out by the government. So you will be furnished with information before COVID lockdown number 3.
Okay, so, wag ko kayo alis, oh. We're gonna be back. Si attorney and me will be back. Wag ko kayo alis. At saglit po lamang. Wag ko kayo alis.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka evict ka na ni kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay mister o kay misis. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS. Harassment? O baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa Divi Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. Divi Solicitors at Mayfair House, 11 Lurk Street, Bedford, MK40 3HZ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy ho tayo sa ating program. Yan, ito na. Magdidiscuss ho si Attorney Dana, no? Bagay-bagay na maaring dumating at maging problema mo, no? Ngayong lockdown, di ba, Attorney? So ito yung mga situations na pwede nyong baka maaring tamaan kayo, alam ninyo at guided kayo ng ating napakamahal na abogado. Okay, abogada. Ayan. Okay, Attorney, sige, go. Sige, take it away.
Yes, so we're gonna give a guidance kung anong nangyayari ngayon sa legal sector, the state of play in respect of the different areas of law, at ano yung guidance na binigay ng gobyerno for probably your legal matter, whether it's a civil litigation or family litigation, housing, or immigration. So let's start off with this. Kasabay nung announcement ng lockdown, they provided a guidance, Ministry of Justice provided a guidance very clearly stating that the legal system, the courts are open. Hindi ito na-suspend, hindi ito biglang na-pause na pwede nang kalimutan ang mga ongoing hearings. It is open. Katulad ng nangyari nung at some point between COVID lockdown number 1 and lockdown number 2, maraming mga hearings na dati face-to-face ay naging remote hearings either by telephone or by Skype or by Teams meeting. Most of the cases are now being held remotely or being heard remotely rather. Some final trial, or yung mga talagang kailangan ng witnesses were listed on a face-to-face, but what I would suggest is you check with your lawyers if face-to-face pa rin sila. There is a possibility, just like the few lockdown, na mamumove yung mga face-to-face, the very, very small number of cases that are still on face-to-face hearings that may be moved to remote hearings. So the best thing to do, which we are doing at the moment, not just us, but the rest of the legal sector, is checking in with the court if this is still listed as an attended hearing or a remote or virtual hearing. So that's the first thing. It's very clear from the government that the court system in the UK is still open, which also follows dun sa other guidance nila na exempted kasi malaki. Sabi nga ni Mr. Laragan, ang daming restrictions, bawal kang lumabas unless it's impossible for you to work from home, or you can only exercise once a day and all of that and so forth. You are also exempted if you are fulfilling a legal obligation. Abogado ka, for a court case, you have to appear in court or you have to attend as a member of the government allows for that. Much more applicable in terms of family matters, in terms of cases, in terms of hearing, that's applicable to family law and litigation. In family law, again, same as lockdown number 1, same as lockdown number 2, children of separated parents can be moved from one household or another. However, in any circumstance, you have to make a commonsensical decision of what is in the best interest of your child. Kung meron mang ibang health and safety issues or risk surrounding that movement. So, ang iisipin pa rin natin in terms of that particular issue is what is in the best interest of the child. Now, so that's for civil law and family law. Now let's go to the housing market. The housing market is open as well. They gave guidance as to that. You can still move homes, you can sell, you can buy. However, if you move homes, people outside your household should not help you move unless wala ka na talagang choice. So that's what they say. There is a national guidance in moving, so do check that out. For further guidance in terms of how to do that as safely as possible. Also, estate agents are also open, letting agents are also open. However, what we are seeing is a lot more of remote. Again, the keyword is remote. The keyword is virtual viewings. Also, bearing in mind you must follow health and safety precautions and all those COVID regulations as well. So kahit na sinasabi na bukas pa rin, it may not be your traditional face-to-face. It may be that your viewings are held via a video cam or a video recording. So that's for the housing market. Now, for the uh, immigration side of things, I spoke with one of my colleagues, one of the partners at the firm, and the situation at the moment is all the visa centers are open until they are closed. That's exactly their words. So it's not entirely a very, very, how would we say it, very, very clear until when they're open. So what they're probably doing is let's see how it goes. So we're all taking a sensible approach. If this is a very dynamic, sabi nga ni Boris Johnson, it's a very dynamic situation. Pwedeng biglang maging more serious, pwede ding hopefully makikita natin yung epekto ng lockdown. But at the moment, it could possibly be worse. So that's the wording ng mga visa centers natin. They are open until they would decide to be closed. So there is a possibility. However, as of tomorrow, they will be open. So that's the legal sector. As a summary, slightly, siguro what we would say is mas malaki yung, mas talagang pinofortify yung instant vigilance ngayon, because we really have to get through this together. But also have to push through this essential services, as such as caring for the vulnerable, sa mga nagsasuffer ng domestic abuse, for people or parents who hindi pa nakikita yung mga anak nila for a number of months already. So ma-move man lang yung application for contact. So that's also the psyche behind the legal system keeping open. And also bearing in mind, we've been in this position for how many months now? Probably close to 10 months. Yung backlog ng cases ng legal system is quite a lot as well. I think everyone can say, can attest to that. And we have to be mindful na after nito, even after siguro mag-ease yung lockdown, we still have to deal with that, along with all of other sectors, hindi man legal sector, hindi man health sector, we still have to deal with post-COVID landscape. So probably that is, yun lang yung haka-haka, that is the psyche of it all. But to summarize, the legal sector is open, but be very, very vigilant of health and safety. You can still, if you are a domestic abuse victim, please do not hesitate to call the police, to flee from the abuser. May mga guidance tayo in terms of what you can do dito sa Legal Advice Corner, or anywhere else. If you Google all those refuge options. So that is one thing that you can do. And also, as I've said, bukas ang mga korte natin. So that's it for legal sector during lockdown number 3.
Okay, kung may problema pa rin kayo, bukas pa rin. So you're saying that yung legal system is open pa rin. Okay, lalo na yung mga gusto
very important.
Very important, lalo na yung kunyari, yung mga child that would like to see their kids and they would like to hasten and make this, rather than wait for, kasi nga may backlog. When you say backlog, attorney, ano ibig sabihin, magtatagal pa rin maski paano?
Ito lang sa akin ha, ang nakita ko na talagang nag-move, kasi what happens is just yung normal na epekto ng pandemic sa lahat, sa buong mundo, is it hampered the processes. Talagang na-slow down yung processes natin because of several lockdowns, because madaming staff na, at some point or another, may nag-isolate, so short-staff ka for about 10 months. What happened, what I've seen from practice, is ang talagang pinush ng korte namin, ng mga courts, is for the family cases. Yung talagang, because meron nga kaming principle in terms of children arrangement orders and children arrangement applications, the no delay principle. So they tried, hindi man perfecto, but they tried as much as they can to push that ahead. However, with the rest, hindi ganon ka, kumbaga, we had to make do with the resources. The court system had to make do with the resources, and yung mga vulnerable parties and vulnerable cases, involving vulnerable people, those were given the priority with whatever resources we have. So yun nga, the other issues na hindi nandun sa priority list had to take dun sa a little bit of a had to go at the back of the queue in terms of getting access to that resources. But we're hoping, nakikita naman natin, because they were, yung ibang Nightingale, we heard of Nightingale, Mr. Laragan, di ba? Nightingale Hospital. And they also said Nightingale courts then. So they were saying about
really,
increasing.
Diba yung Excel, ginawa lang Nightingale, they converted it. Oh, okay, so they also have some parang Nightingale courts then, just to keep up with some of the backlog.
Exactly.
Pero
some of the
backlog, prioritize yung mga sa children, mga custody, child, mga ganyan, no? Oh.
Yeah, the family cases went through, especially the contact arrangement, domestic abuse applications, yung mga tinatawag nating injunction, tinatawag non-molestation and non-occupation order. Those cases, what I felt, were constantly being listed, and they were being heard. The civil cases much slower, yung nakita namin, and you can see why. Common sense dictates why. Common sense would explain why. Na bakit yun yung inuna natin with not kami but the system. Bakit yun ang nabigyan ng priority. So we're all trying to survive. Even our own legal system is also trying to survive in this pandemic. So what we're saying is, kaya nga, not necessarily business as usual, but business as much as we can do so safely.
Okay. Sinabi mo tuloy pa yata ngayon, no? You can still buy houses. So yung mga conveyancing are still active these days, no? No, it's not being curtailed, going for buying houses or moving in. Sabi mo nga, pwedeng mag-move in, wag ka lang magpapatulong sa hindi makakasama mo siguro sa bahay.
Which is a bit hard, I think. Yeah. Which is a bit hard in some instances. Kasi siguro mga apat, siguro kung maliit yung maliit yung kotse mo, mga 10 balikan.
10 balikan. Pero tuloy pa rin. Pag bumili ka ng bahay, mag-viewing ka ng bahay, mag-conveyancing kayong mga abogado, tuloy pa rin. So wala pa rin problema. Life goes on with no?
That's the one difference with COVID lockdown number 1. Naalala ko ng lockdown number 1, talagang kinlose yung housing market for a few weeks. Talagang frozen yung kumbaga hindi talaga for a while, medyo talagang nagkaroon ng static talaga, hindi talaga sila nag-move. But that's slightly different now. I think that has to do with pushing, at least keeping some level of the economy moving. So let's hope that everyone will be sensible about it. Yun ang inaano din nila. Do so safely. Merong moving guidance, national guidance in terms of moving safely. So if you are planning to move during this lockdown, make sure you read that, make sure you follow that. Most lawyers are now used to remote working. It's been 10 months of this. Mm-hmm. So kaya nga we have legal tech assisting us throughout these 3 lockdowns. Madaming, meron mga e-signatures na. So we have those facilities, not just us, but the court allowed us to be more up to date with the needs of our clients. Yun naman ang nakakaano. That's if we're going to add kung ano man yung ammunition natin for lockdown number 3 is if we're looking for positive kasi Happy Tuesday tayo ngayon, di ba? If we're gonna look for positive with this lockdown number 3, we've had this for 2 lockdowns now. So we're hoping na we can do this better and better. Not that we want to do this for another 5 more lockdowns, but nagkaroon na tayo ng time to to update our system, our processes, para hindi naman completely malugmok yung buong yung economic as well as yung health system natin. So, a little bit of hope there. Kaya natin at least to move forward economically. So that's where we're. The same with hearings. We're getting better telephone hearings na sasanay na yung mga tao mag-telephone hearing. And it's not perfect as well. Minsan nagpo-freeze yung nagpo-freeze yung
Siyempre, ikaw nga, nag-freeze ka kanina, attorney, for a few seconds eh. Pinabayaan ko lang muna, no? We missed you for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
We missed you.
So, nag-freeze. And the same, it happens. Napuputol yung linya, so you all have to get back to the same line.
It's a new world eh. And sabi mo, di ba? Tsaka plus it's a balance between di ba, livelihoods and lives, di ba? Kaya nga, mahirap you don't know what to do. The government, hindi mo dumb if you do, dumb if you don't. Ibig sabihin, pagka hindi mo muna inano yung lockdown, kasi some people would say, sana ilagahan ni Boris Johnson yung lockdown. The Prime Minister should have done it earlier and so on and so forth. Pero hindi pa, yun nga, yung livelihoods and lives, you're balancing it. Di ba?
You're balancing that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're gonna say it's a new landscape. I know you. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, new normal. It's a different kind of a life that we have nowadays. We have to adjust kayo, di ba? Sa legal profession sa inyo. Ang legal system iba na ngayon, maski paano, di ba? We now have this siguro yung mga remote hearings na, no? Yung mga no?
Mm-hmm.
But although that was done, they do it naman, di ba? Pagka sometimes there would be, for example, mga prisoners na hindi na kailangan pumunta sa korte, doon na sa korte, bini-video call na lang, di ba?
Correct.
I remember.
It used to be the exemption. It used to be the exemption. It used to be like,
yeah, you're right. It used to be the exemption.
Special measures, video link, kung talagang threatening yung kabila, or talagang ayaw nila magpakita. We know it occurs. We know there's a facility for it, but it would be so rare because the default is pumunta sa korte. You meet up your client, upo kayo dun sa gilid, and you're able to talk. Makita mo yung non-verbal, yung vibe niya, yung if relax sila, kung okay lang ba sila. You can talk with other people, nakikita mo yung judge. You can have this 3D environment around you. That's quite important if you are trying to gauge kung ano yung feeling ng room. The same thing then siguro when interview or any conversation, you have all this stimulus na siguro tinatry mong i-read, i-interpret, but with remote, slightly different kasi katulad nito magkatabi lang na magkausap lang tayo, it's sort of one-dimensional and one may say one-dimensional lang, hindi mo makita yung vibe ng room, hindi mo makita yung hindi mo maramdaman yung vibe. So we had to deal with that, but as you said, what can you do? We're all surviving. Kailangan one step at a time. We'll make do with what we have. So it's been a learning experience so far. It's been good in some instances. I always say na if there's one thing na I feel talagang natuwa ako, it's mediation by Zoom. Natuwa talaga ako doon kasi nakaupo ka lang. Mediation could take a whole day sometimes. Mm-hmm. And actually, kung nasa bahay ka na you don't need to travel, you don't need to you don't need to set up elsewhere. Andun ka sa comfort ng home mo. Andun din yung client mo sa comfort ng home nila, so they're comfortable, relax sila. They're able to think, they're able to make decisions in a much more relaxed environment. So that helped a lot.
Sabi mo, it takes a day. So how about the Zoom? It takes also a day? It takes a day then? You Zoom, has it cut down?
Depende po.
Depende pa rin. So even though you're doing it by Zoom, no, in the comfort of your home, both client and lawyer, it can also take a day din pala. Mahaba ba? Ganun din?
I had 10 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Wow.
na Grayson one. So
Alright,
that was
okay.
just throughout the year. So that was probably my longest. Kasi nga, hindi na kami kailangan umuwi. Andun na kami, so...
Oo nga, wala na
So,
uuwi yan eh.
parang-
Pagkatapos lang no, pagpatay mo ng Zoom, pwede ka na matulog o pwede
Pwede
ka
ka
na
kumain,
mag-dinner
hindi
o yan, di ba? Oo. Tama nga naman. Attorney, we'll have a break. At pagbalik natin, let's open. May question yata si Mape, no? Let's try to, kung may mga tanong ho kayo, i-send lang ho ninyo sa amin, no? Para nang sa ganun malaman ninyo, matanong ninyo, meron tayong abogada rito, no? Si attorney ang atong abogada ng bayan ng UK, no? Ng ating mga Pinoy sa UK. Ang ating community voice. Si Edwin De La Cruz ang community voice natin sa mga NHS sa health na lumabas sa government, no? Si Rowena Romulo sa business, yung UK transition. Pagdating naman sa batas no? Legal. Ito po si Attorney Dana Quinto. So wag ko kayo alis, saglit lang, we're gonna be back and when we come back, merong 1 or 2 tayong mga questions dito. Itatanong natin kay Attorney. Okay ka na ba? Open ka? Attorney?
Yeah,
Go. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, wag ko kayo alis. Kami po ay magbabalik saglit po lamang.
%100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating legal advice corner with, of course, our pinakamamahal na abogado, walang iba kundi si Attorney Dana Quinto. Attorney, may mga pagbati dito. May nakakatuwa naman yung message ng nakita natin dito. Sabi gano'n ano ba sabi rito? Your British parent? Kavita Shivert? How do you read that? Shivert. Yeah. Hi, Dana, from your British parent. Ayun.
Yeah,
Hi.
Kavita.
Kavita,
And
hi.
David
Hi,
Scheibert.
good evening.
Yeah, they're my British parents. David Scheibert.
Ito yun.
Still is.
The one you were
that's
telling
it,
us
that's
earlier.
what I was telling you about. So
Oo nga.
I'm very close to both of them. They pretty
Okay.
much adopted me. Sa kanila ako nagpasko for maraming taon except for the last
Really?
one.
Okay.
But we still called each other during Christmas. So, hi Kavita!
And he was your
She
mentor
said
mo
to
sa
me-
lawyer, in your
Apo.
lawyering career, no? Yan ang mentor mo, di ba? Yung si David?
Si David po, yes.
David, mabuhay
He's
David.
been my... Yeah.
Ayan,
David! Mabuhay
And
ka.
Emily Rafael, good evening, Sunny and Attorney Dana. Nice to see you again, back again in the show. Happy Tuesday to you all. Siya nga ho pala, doon sa mga gusto kong bumati, no? Nagtataka kayo, bakit hindi nababasa yung pagbati ko? Andun ho kami sa kasi, sa tag dito sa may Pinoy Radio UK na Facebook page, no? At kung medyo malabo ho sa inyo, no? Medyo malabo yung biglang nawala, pwede ho kayo mag-shift sa YouTube, no? Pwede rin ho kayo. Sa both ways yan,
Alright.
pwede. So kunyari minsan medyo lumabo sa Facebook, you can go to YouTube. Naka-simulcast
Gotcha.
siya, no? Yan, Galicia Paner. Hello po, Happy Tuesday. Binabasa ko sa ibang page siya, no? Hindi. Nandito pala. Hello po, Happy Tuesday po, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana at sa lahat ng Happy Three Kings po sa lahat. Kailan ba yan? Yung Three Kings.
Three Kings ba? Three Kings Ang dami nagsabi na
Oo.
3 Kings ah.
Oo nga, marami nagsasabi eh.
Ang dami
Attorney, ito
nagsasabi
may
3
tanong.
Kings. Sige,
Yun nga,
sige,
hindi ko
go
alam
for
kung
it.
kailan ng Three Kings eh. May tanong, subukan natin itong tanong, no? Babasahin ko na
Yeah,
lang.
go for it.
Kanina pa siguro
Sige.
more than, kanina pa maaga pa eh. So basahin ko lang
Yeah.
natin to. Ito si Miles Mape. Miles Mape o Mape, hindi ko alam kung tama yan, no? Ang tanong niya ito, attorney. Mape siguro. Ang sabi niya, good evening po. Meron lang akong itatanong kay Dana, sa iyo, attorney, no? Kung ano ang may advice niya, o baka may advice mo, kasi po, meron akong part-time job for 26 years. Kaya lang, bigla na lang sinabi sa akin nung Wednesday, December 30, wala man lang notice, biglaan straight away. Di na raw niya ako kailangan, kaya gusto kong malaman. Siguro gusto niya malaman kung anong gagawin niya, no? May magagawa ba siya, attorney?
May redundancy calculator dun sa ano. So first of all, titingnan mo yung kontrata if kung ano yung nakalagay sa kontrata. But saying it's
Part-time,
26
attorney,
years.
part-time siya.
Part-time oo nga eh. That we'll have to look at kung qualified siya for the redundancy. So probably the best thing to do is I want to have a look at the employment contract just in case there's any nuances in there. So paki-send nung employment if ever meron and kung anong work yan and kung totoo ngang redundancy situation yan because it's 26 years it is part-time but they at the end of the day kung the other practical point is kung talagang papunta na sa ending yung kumpanya at wala ng pera, that's also something else. So we're gonna have to look at that as well. So paki-send nung ano mo, what's the Miles Mape,
Miles
ano?
Mape or Mape, no? Oo
Miles
nga.
Mape.
Pero
Kaya
26 years siya
pakisend
part-time, no? Pakibigay mo yung detalye kay attorney, no? Para lang sa ganun. Malaman kasi, very generic eh. Ano ba trabaho mo? Ano
Yes, a bit
pinapartial?
generic.
Oo,
And ano yung
pinapart-time mo?
sinabi? Also,
For
ano
26.
sinabi? Ano yung
Oo.
sinabi?
Hindi na raw siya kailangan, sabi attorney eh. Hindi na kita kailangan.
It's a bit generic.
Oo, generic na
And
siya.
also,
Hindi na
you
kita
don't wanna
kailangan.
say-
Ayan.
Parang nag-break eh. Kawawa naman.
Kawawa naman. oo.
Also, you don't want to be saying yung intricate details ng employment mo, lalo na kung hindi pa kayo fully settled, hindi pa fully ended yung case. So you don't want to be saying that publicly as well. So I think the best thing to do is email us in 30-minute consultation naman dun sa amin na we'll be able to give that to you. At matatanong ko kung ano yung dapat kong tanongin sa'yo directly without you saying that publicly as well. So that's the
Ayan.
best.
So, pwede mo email kay attorney, no? d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Ayan. Para at least
right.
malaman mo, no? Magkukontakan kayo, mag-uusap kayo. Para nang sa ganun na malaman lang kung anong
Exactly.
problema,
I
anong
mean,
pwedeng gawin, no? Oo.
kahit part-time may instances na may redundancy situation, statutory redundancy. It's just a bit too generic yung sinabi ni Miles. But Miles, I think let me know kung ano yung talagang exact verbatim or if may offer ng settlement agreement yung employer mo. And probably do say that as a private consultation rather than sa public.
Oo, baka ano lang, no? Hindi natin baka siyempre baka hindi niya gustong isabihin kung ano yung actual na work niya doon sa kasi part-time 26
Exactly.
years. Kung 26
Yeah,
years yan.
meron namang gumaganon, Mr. Laragan, and may mga part-time situation that ended up in kumbaga may protection sa redundancy. But again, there is a question kung genuine redundancy ba to or nagawa na ba nila yung redundancy na process nila and hence they can say, well, actually yes, not that we don't need you personally na walang kwenta yung tao, but minsan may restructuring yung kumpanya. So Miles, do contact me sa email na yun. And then
So
we can have a
December
chat.
30 siya, attorney, sinabihan na
December 30.
wala na siyang trabaho, no? Oo.
Do
Ano yung
contact
sinasabi
me
mo?
sa email.
Oh, pakicontact lang. Pakicontact lang Miles si attorney, no? Diyan sa number na nakikita mo. Ang normally ano ba ang mga ano for example ano ba ang sa labor law, I don't know kung paano, no? Sa labor ba dito sa trabaho ba? Let's say maski hindi 26 years, say full time. Ano ba ang patakaran? Halimbawa, nag-work ka for 2 years, 5 years. Meron bang ano yan? Meron bang kunyari kung less than 1 year ka nag-work parang meron bang mga qualifications? Do you qualify mga
Qualifying
I don't
years,
know kung paano ka matanggal o ano? 'Di ba kunyari sa isang company pag nagle-layoff sila, they start with the least last in first out, parang ganun ba? Tama, di ba? Parang ganun na lang.
Yeah. There's
Oo.
2
Ano
years
mga patakaran na
qualifying
attorney
period.
sa labor? Ano mga patakaran dito?
Yeah, there's a 2 years qualifying period for bago ka makaklaim ng unfair dismissal. So you can still claim for other employment kumbaga claim, but in terms of kung sasabihin mo ay nilayoff ako, I've been made redundant, and I think it was unfair because hindi tama yung selection tool nila, then you'd have to have 2 years for that. However, yung law ng employment in England, they pretty much, and we lawyers can say this, sinasabi nila na the businesses would have to be allowed to make business decisions. And that means na kapag recession, kapag ang hirap, they would have to meet 2 years, that's a qualifying period. They would have the ability to say, look, I have to make the certain layoff, dito the term is redundant. But they have to follow certain procedures, and they'd have to pay what we call statutory redundancy payment. Na may calculator online, may nakalagay doon. So those are the situation, the employment claim or employment na parameters, employment claim parameters for being laid off. So you'd have to pretty much have 2 years really.
2 years ano? So let's say pagka 2 years ka nag-work sa isang company, parang mas medyo maganda you have parang hindi naman more rights, paano ba yan?
Correct.
You have something that you can claim sa law by law.
Correct.
So if it's less than 2 years, wala. Attorney.
Sorry, I lost you there, Mr.
You
Lara,
lost me?
for a
Can you not hear me? If it's less than 2 years, for example, paano na?
May iba naman na mga, I think it's discrimination. You can still claim for discrimination. May other claims, but it's harder to prove. Mas easier to prove yung unfair. Kumbaga, 5 kayo, pare-pareho naman trabaho nyo, tapos ikaw lang yung inalis, pero walang due process.
Mm-hmm.
That's easier to prove kasi yung sinabi mo. The problem with discrimination claim is mahirap i-point out kung ano talaga yung motivation ng isang tao. Mahirap i-evidence kung ano yung talagang nasa isip niya. Unless obviously may ebidensya ka na talagang sinulat or sinabi, nasa WhatsApp, nasa CCTV, narinig sa audio. Very, very, it's a very, very rare occurrence. So may mga situation that's just it's hard.
Attorney, pagka for example, walang formality of a contract, no, employment contract. Halimbawa, you've been working, say for example, part-time or full-time sa isang tao. Yun ba? Okay ba? Meron ka bang maki-claim o meron ka bang kunyari, kailangan ba, meron ka, have you heard of any, sabagay marami naman mga employment na wala namang formality of a contract, di ba? Di ba? Yung mga siyempre, no? Pero, ayan, kunyari, let's say, you've been working for a long time, wala kang formality of a contract, is there anything you can do? Are you, let's say, tinanggal ka?
Yeah, no, it's not an issue dahil oral yung contract mo. From the top of my head, kung temporary ka lang, kung halimbawa minsan tinry to, I think what happened before yung batas na to, is sinasabi nila, hindi ka permanent ha, ano ka lang, temporary ka, or ano ka lang, 6 months, 6 months. Pero actually, I think pag lumagpas ka ng 4 years, included, ano ka na permanent ka. And also the fact na walang contract, pero binabayaran ka, nakikita naman binabayaran ka, that could still be implied. Makikita naman yung yung payment contributions mo and all of that. So, yun yung tinatry nila temporary 6 months, but naging 4 years na. I think it's 4 years, you're permanent and may protection ka after that.
4 years pag permanent, attorney? Pag permanent? 4 years pag permanent?
Yung mga temporary, yung ginagawa mga temporary, sinasabi, temporary ka muna for 6 months, tapos temporary for another 6 months, and extended. Tapos ginawa mo permanent. Hindi ka makakatakas sa law dito. Pag ginawa mong, pag na-total mo ng 4 years yon, the same protection ka na. You're not temporary for. So that's
all right. Ito, 26 years. Na baka at least may konting protection siya.
Yeah, I think we'd wanna have a chat about kung ano yung sinabi sa'yo. I think ano yung, if ever may in-email sa'yo, and ano yung basis ng employment and all of that, because potentially makaka-attract yan ng still statutory redundancy payment.
Okay. Ito, pasok ko lang mga pagbati lang. No? Si Jennifer Guevara Bukad. No? Hi, Sir Sunny and Attorney Dana. Yeah, bumabati siya sa atin. No? And, ayan, hello po from Maidenhead. Si Blessy.
Maidenhead. Maidenhead. Up north. Maidenhead.
Ayan.
Hi, Blessy.
Blessy, hi. Oy, si Myra Flores is watching with us.
Yeah.
Uy, si Bong Magtoto ba ito? Dating presidente ng Aguman Kapampangan, yung ating very good friend, si Bong Magtoto, nanonood sa atin, attorney, no? So, kanina yung founder ng Caviteños UK, no? One of, alam mo naman, di ba? Ano to, si Lito Fami, ano to, attorney, sa pagkakaalam ko, parang descended siya from Aguinaldo yata eh. Parang ganun
wow.
Yata. Emilio Aguinaldo, yes. So, parang descended yata siya. If I'm not mistaken, no?
That's right.
Athena Papa Constantino and Cynthia Sumergilo Guido Miller are watching. No? Thank you very much. So, Anjo Joris Enriquez, nanonood siya. No? Jonathan Orenzo, hi, good evening. Jocelyn Aguinaga, Andrew Hudson, Don Humilia. Ayun. At bumabati sa atin sino to? Sino ba to? Si Mr. Yung pinakamahal na boss.
Mr.
Very
Roman.
informative. Thank you, madam. Yan. Kamar. Kamar ba pronunciation? Is that how you say it?
Kamar.
Mr. Reman, good evening. No? Ayan. Dana here is our, how do you call this? The Pinoy, abogado, no? The community voice in law, no? For the legal profession here. Not really legal profession, but, for law advice, no? Here in the UK. So maraming salamat. Thank you very much to Dana, and thank you very much also to Mr. Reman. No? Thank you very much. Good evening. Ayan. Ayan. No? So work. We tackled work. You mentioned about people can still go by. They can still also how do you call it? Secure the services of a. Ano yung tawag doon, attorney? Yung
they can instruct. Yeah.
Instruct.
They can instruct. Yeah.
Yung mga
conveyancing?
Conveyancing, no, di ba?
Yeah,
conveyancing can still go ahead. They can instruct you or whatever, no? Since tuloy pa rin ang bahay, no? Ano ba ngayon? Sa panahon ba na ito, bumababa ang presyo ng like for example, because of the pandemic? Would house prices go down? What do you think? Have you got any idea?
This is just my speculation kasi meron atang, I'm not a conveyancer, hindi po ako property lawyer, but from what I gathered, before Christmas, this was before nung rush, the preceding Christmas, the last 3 months of the year was probably the busiest ever sa conveyancing. A lot of lawyers na involved sa conveyancing said to me, not just sa firm namin, but everywhere else, that it has been absolutely busy because of I think may stamp duty na change sa March. So everyone's trying to take advantage of that. Naturally, if ang mataas ang demand, tumataas din yung presyo. So there was may konti. They said actually tumaas pa yung presyo, the prices of houses either steadied or got better. Hindi naman siya yung katulad nung, nalala niyo po yun, what is it, 2007 na talagang bumagsak talaga lahat. Yung talagang naramdaman natin lahat na bagsak lahat ng presyo ng mga bahay. Hindi naman yun ang nangyari. What happened is talagang mas marami pa nga yung naging interested. Whether or not that's just the situation because of stamp duty, the stamp duty law coming into March na nag-create nitong bubble na to, we're not sure. Prices are steady. The last I heard, wala namang dramatic rise or dramatic drop. So we're gonna have to wait for what will happen. What I heard though earlier this morning is at least nung binasa ko yung mga news is okay naman daw yung stock market. The reason being is andyan yung vaccine. Yun yung glimmer of hope ng lahat. What they're saying is there will be an end to this. That's most important for the business sector na nakikita na natin ko. Medyo dadaanan pa natin yung, kumbaga sa bundok, we like the hiking bit, dadaanan pa natin yung pinakamahirap. Pero nakikita mo na yung ending. So that means for the business sector confidence, and eto lang sa akin, what probably that would mean is the prices would probably be steady, unlike the financial recession. And hopefully, there will be a bit more economic activity. Kasi kailangan ng lahat eh. We've been hearing, wala ng trabaho, katulad nung kababayan natin. Kahit kami din sa litigation, maraming nagtatanong about settlement agreement of this employment matter. Kasi imbes na mag-away pa, na mas marami pang babayaran sa abogado, what normally happens is, sasabihin nila, eto, sa'yo na lang yung pera. We'll pay you the redundancy plus a bit more. Minsan may ex gratia payment na konti. Kasi nga, iniisip na hindi talaga kaya, genuine yung situation, na hindi na kaya yung ganitong workforce. So, may mga ganong sitwasyon na nangyayari. We're getting a lot of that. I think I talked about signing settlement agreement. Hinahanap natin kung post-termination na baka naman hindi, sabi dun sa kontrata niya, bawal siya magtrabaho within a certain area, o sinasabi na bawal siya magtrabaho with someone na associated sa company for a certain period of time. So we look for that. Kahit na bibigyan ka ng pera, titingnan mo pa rin na hindi overly restrictive yung deal nyo. So that's one thing na sana magkaroon ng, kumbaga, ma-resuscitate yung employment market natin after this. So we'll have a chat about that. Na siguro yun yung topic natin next week kasi maraming, I think, with what we're facing in the next few weeks, lots of employment ay mahahagip. So hopefully with the vaccination, with the renewed economy, mababalik din sa trabaho yung mga nawalan.
Well, you were mentioning about being positive, no? Dahil nga, wala ng trabaho. Sabi ni Edgardo Cagastian, thanks Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana. Very informative. Because of the pandemic, maraming nawalan ng work. Apply lang and be positive, no? Mag-apply lang, okay. Ayan.
Exactly.
Tsaka in fact, ito maraming nagkaroon ng maraming nagkaroon ng, di ba, sabi nga parang necessity is the mother of invention, no? May mga tao hindi gano'ng kumakanta, biglang napakanta, nagkaroon na ng isang, nag-YouTube o no? Gumagawa ng parang, nagluluto sila, nag-offer sila sa online. Maraming it has spawned a lot of other things din. May ibang sinuwerte rin, no? May ibang binalas But you have to be positive nga. Apply lang na apply. Sabi nga, Si DJ Red, yung tanong mo, DJ Red, parang hindi mo pa rin tinatanong. No? Sabi niya, very informative, Attorney Dana. Thank you po. Ang pagkakaalam ko sa kanya, parang meron siyang inupahang bahay yata. Hindi pa yata tapos yung matatapos yung kanyang upa o something like that. Parang, hindi ko alam kung pinapaalis na siya, no? Parang gano'n, hindi ko maintindihan. Kaya nga mas mabuting ikaw. Kasi nakabulat-lat naman sa buong mundo yan. Inopen mo, no? Dahil siyempre, parang nagpapatanong siya kung anong magandang no? Magandang gawin. Parang
DJ
hindi ko maintindihan ang
DJ
ano niya
Red.
kasi. Hindi ko
Eto na
maintindihan
lang.
kasi istorya mo, DJ Red. Parang pahapyo lang, dinaan ako na parang namumroblema siya. Pero sabi niya, nag-iisa daw siya ngayon, attorney. Nalulungkot siya. Pero yan, wala na tayong magagawa ron. Ako, hindi kita matutulungan doon. Dahil kung
Isolation ba yan?
oo, wala kang kasama. Hindi ko, bawal ngayon. Diba? Kung hindi mo bubble. Bubble, diba?
Ay, pwede kang mag-support bubble pa rin pag mag-isa ka ata. But,
Pwede ba?
kung sa exercise-
Sino ba pwedeng
exercise,
kababble mo? Ang kababble mo, yung best friend mo siguro, no?
Hindi rin, nag-ano din po kami. Kumbaga doon lang sa opisina yung yung pinupuntahan ko ngayon. Wala, medyo maingat din po kami ngayon.
Pero I mean, for example siya, di ba you have to have a bubble? Kasi, alam mo, dito sa atin dito.
Hindi naman po ata required.
Hindi naman. Hindi, kaso nga malungkot siya eh. Nag-iisa daw siya. Hindi ko alam kung malungkot ha. Pero sabi niya nag-iisa. Parang I read somewhere, no? Na sabi niya nag-iisa daw siya. So,
Okay.
sa kalungkutan.
Virtual bubble. Pwede tayo mag-virtual bubble dito sa Pinoy Radio UK para supportahan natin.
Ito, bubble to. Virtual bubble natin to.
Bubble to natin.
Oo,
Support
ganun.
bubble to. Community support bubble. So,
Exactly,
kung nalulungkot ka, DJ Red, punta ka lang dito kasi Happy Tuesday to. And to give some generic advice, I'm just trying to decipher kung ano yung problema. Kung umuupa ka at gusto ka paalisin ng landlord mo, bawal ka niya tanggalin physically, bawal niya tanggalin or change yung lock ng inuupahan mo, bawal niya tawagin yung police tapos sabihin niya, tapos na yung tenancy mo, umalis ka na dyan. No, they would have to apply for what we call a possession order. So, kailangan niya makuha yun sa korte, and that actually takes time. So, hindi ganun kadali na pag sinabi, alis ka na dyan, ayoko ng tenant kita dyan. They would have to do the notice, and then they would have to apply to the court for a possession order. So, kung yun man yung tanong mo, I hope that answers your question. Kung hindi man, by all means, send ka ulit na question.
Parang yata, umalis na siya eh. Parang umaalis yata siya. Parang hindi pa yata tapos yung kanyang, I don't know, tapos, hindi ko maintindihan kasi dapat talaga, yung pang para bang aalis na ako. Pero ang pag-alis ko hanggang, let's just say, hanggang January 15 yata. And then parang meron pa siyang right hanggang 15. Ito yung nagbabasa lang ako kasi hindi niya tinatanong eh. So, parang bang ando pa siya, may right pa sana pa siya, parang may pinapasok na kagad. Hindi ko maintindihan, no?
Okay.
Anyway, so, attorney, ito may tanong dito, hindi ko alam kung anong tanong to, kung immigration to, pero hindi ko immigration to, baka sabi ni Emar May Magpuyo de Mata, attorney, posible po ba kapag may appeal sa previous application, then apply uli ng another application? Pwede po ba yan? Magulo, parang bang...
I think you'd have to ask Attorney Lira kung sa Thursday, kung andyan ba si Attorney Lira. If not, pwede nating i-check yan. I'm not an immigration lawyer. I can do spouse visa and yung simple na application, but not, hindi ko area ang appeal level ng immigration. That's a completely different area of law. I don't want to give you a wrong advice. I'd rather check for you first. So, pati ng duty namin is to say, kapag hindi kami sure at hindi namin area, we'd have to go and find out for you. So, I can find that out for you.
Pero hindi niya sinabi, hindi specific eh. Hindi ko alam attorney, posible po bang mag-appeal sa previous application? Application saan, no? Kailangan malinaw.
If you are, I will apply it, i-decipher na naman natin. If civil law, if we're talking civil law.
Civil law, yeah.
If you have an application, interim application yung tawag namin, or kung family, then you can have something, you can have a different interim application sa family law. If hindi mo nagustuhan, or sa tingin mo, hindi lang sa hindi nagustuhan, if sa tingin mo hindi tama yung application ng law sa desisyon ng korte, the straightforward answer is yes, you can appeal a decision on an interim application in civil law as well as family law. But again, I'm just trying to give a generic advice. I'm trying to decipher your question. If it's an immigration question, I think it's best that we ask Attorney Leo, or I can ask one of my colleagues. So that's for civil law. Kung natalo ka sa isang interim application, pwede mong i-appeal.
Attorney, hindi ko, tama ba pagkakaintindi ko dati? Sabi mo, pagka gantong early part of the year, malakas ang mga divorce cases? Tama ba yan?
Yeah.
Tama ba? Divorce ba sabi mo sa akin?
Yes.
Oo, dahil nga parang nagtitimpi sila ng mga Christmas time, mga ano, tapos biglang pagdating ng January, ayan na, biglang ano na, no?
Ando na nga. We had that. We had the influx. We had the inquiries this year. So
bakit kaya? Why is it? Yun nga, sabi mo ano sinabi mo? Why is it that yung divorce, no? Medyo marami pag early part of the year, lalo na pag New Year.
I think a few factors. A few factors. I think yung psyche. Let's begin with the usual factor. Yung sabi mo, Christmas, as much as it's a very happy holiday, it creates a lot of pressure. Madaming pressure sa family, and pressure means friction as well. So, ang daming mga kumbaga incidents na nangyayari din sa Christmas, which leads to that decision, kasama ng decision making after Christmas. Ano ba? New Year's resolution. Ang daming nagsa-self-reflect. Ano bang gusto kong gawin sa buhay ko? Ano ba talaga? And most of the time, hindi lang naman yun yung inisip nila ng December 29 at tinawagan kami ng January 3. Most of the time, iniisip-isip na ng buong taon. And nangyari lang na natural pause yung time na yan. Kasi lahat tayo halos may mga holiday tayo, di ba? Mr. Laraga, meron tayong Boxing holiday, meron tayong another bank holiday. So, a lot of time to think about what we want to do with our lives. So most of the time, that's when they do their decision, big decision. Sasabihin mo lang, ay, next year, ito na talaga, I want to do it next year. Ito na yung New Year's resolution ko. So, yun yung psychology, one psychology about it, or a couple of psychology about it. The first one is dahil may mga incidents na nangyari ng Christmas. And the second one is natural self-reflection towards the end of the year. Also, sinasabi ng iba is, yung iba na-reach na yung decision, October pa lang or September pa lang, but they want the children to have one last Christmas together. So, yun yung medyo nakakalungkot na rason na they just want the children to have one last Christmas together. Sorry, can't hear you, sorry.
Sabi ko, pag hindi na po pwede talaga, you have to move on. No? We don't have to force yourself to be in a relationship kung hirap din kayo, huwag kayong magdusa, huwag kayong magano, no? You have to move on, no? Ika nga, kung talaga kailangan maghiwalay, tama rin naman yung, well, meron gano'n, no? They kino-consider lang one last Christmas, at least for the kids, and then, pag gano'n, no? Pero, yeah, gano'n ang buhay. You have to move on. Kailangan lang, no? At saka dito, meron tayong, Ministry of Loneliness. I don't know if you know that. Pero meron yata tayo.
No,
meron tayo. Wala ba tayo? May Ministry of Loneliness tayo. Tapos, sino ba yung...
Yung pa yung nagre-required na yung mga mag-isa sa bahay mag-form ng support bubble. Siguro yung required ba yun? Tinatay ba? Ako nga rin, totoo ba yan?
Ito, attorney, meron, no? 2000 ano to? Kailan ba to? 2000, the PM launches, I think this was in 2000, hindi mo, alam, ito, kay Theresa May, nung panahon niya? There's the PM launches government's first loneliness strategy, no? Ayan, so loneliness is one of the greatest public health challenges of our time. So bumuo sila ng alam ko meron tayong Ministry of Loneliness eh. meron pa yatang mayaman siya na hindi ko alam, parang to combat loneliness yata, parang binigay niya yung budget or parang nagbigay siya ng pera. Nakalimutan ko na yun.
Wow. Donation.
May donation siya. Yes, exactly. No? Oo.
And mas lalo na ngayon kasi winter, Mr. Laragan, I don't know about you, but narinig niyo na po ba yung seasonal, what is it? SAD, seasonal something disorder. I think pag parang seasonal depression or seasonal, ano nga ba yun? Tinangan natin seasonal anxiety or seasonal, seasonal
Attorney, kamukha ng ano?
affective disorder.
Ano pangalan? Seasonal?
Affective disorder.
Affective
Tapos
disorder.
yung acronym niya is
SAD.
SAD.
Oo nga, oo nga. Seasonal,
Pero totoo po
Attorney.
yun na, yep.
Hindi, may tatanong. Sige, go ahead. Hindi, may tatanong na sana ako. Si Montulfo sa Pilipinas, sikat na sikat siyempre dahil may mga nananawagan, no? Sa puso, o kunyari, nagmahalan sila. Later on, pagka nagmahalan, nagkagalit na, gusto magbawian, binigay na regalo. Dito ba sa United Kingdom? Dito ba sa United Kingdom? Ano pagkakaalam mo sa batas? Halimbawa, kunyari, ano ba, sabihin lang natin, kunyari, gay na lang ako, sabihin lang natin, love na love ko si Edgar Duway. Binigyan ko siya ng regalo. Edgar, no? Binigyan ko siya ng regalo, halimbawa. Kasi wala ako maisip ng babae, no? Girlfriend, o sino ba girlfriend, kunyari natin, sino pa bang pwede natin gawing girlfriend, kunyari? Basta anyway, nagmamahalan nung una, nagbigay ng regalo, siguro, tapos nagkagalit, minsan binabawi, di ba? May mga ganong, di ba? Hindi lang, hindi bibihira yan. That's a very common, na situation. Pagka nagkabati na, nagkagalit na, o nagkahiwalay na, nagbabawi yan Meron bang amount na hindi mo pwedeng bawiin? Meron bang amount na, kunyari, kung less than gantong amount, pwedeng bawiin o hindi na pwedeng bawiin? Anong pagkakaalam mo sa ganyan? Pwede pa bang bawiin pag binigay sa'yo?
Pagkakaalam ko hindi na po. Ang pagkakaalam ko walang figure na kumbaga capped. What happens dito is may mga cohabitation agreement na kumbaga pag binigay na sa'yo ay sa'yo na. So which includes sometimes yung mga cohabitation agreement na nakita ko. Para tong prenup, yung cohabitation agreement, it's
may ganun din, Tony? May cohabitation? Magkukontratahan pa?
Opo, may ganun din. Parang prenup. Kasi usa nga, kumbaga
Ano
dito.
Ano sample yan? Sige, go ahead.
Most of the time nangyayari po yan pag nagli-live-in yung partners and magiging joint yung financial lives nila. Most importantly, bibili sila ng bahay together but they don't want to get married for whatever reason. Minsan talagang person ay ayaw nila, they don't want to get married or we don't know, but they don't want to get married. So, hindi sila pwede mag-prenup kasi hindi nga naman, it doesn't apply to them kasi hindi ibang situation to. So, what they would do is they would have a cohabitation agreement kung anong gagawin nila sa mga joint property nila, sa sole property nila, kung sasabihin nila, akin na to or paano nila ayusin, how each party will contribute to the household expenses, kung ano yung nila, and sometimes makikita mo rin yung provision doon, sasabihin na gifts given to the other will remain to the other properties, the other party's name, na wala nang bawian. So I've seen that for the avoidance of doubt na pag binigay mo, huwag mo na bawiin. Kasi gift yun hindi naman kontrata yun hindi naman utang yun So that's a gift. So, but it has to be explicit. Kasi ang nangyayari dito, minsan dito, and mostly ang sinakita ko is gift na deposit, na sasabihin, di ba, deposit sa bahay, di ba sabi mo, bigay mo sa akin yan? Sabihin, hindi, sabi ko sa'yo, uutang na yan. Doon nila binabaliktad, hindi nila sinasabi na babawiin ko na yung binigay ko sa'yo. Sasabihin nila, hindi yan binigay. Pinahiram lang yan. So, how we deal with that, and again, parang unromantic, parang naging business partnership, Actually, hindi na ganun ka exemption. Medyo common na to ngayon, yung cohabitation agreement. Very similar sa prenup. Kailangan kang mag-disclose ng finances mo. Kailangan yung pag-usapan, magkano i-contribute mo, ano mangyayari sa previous property mo, ano mangyayari sa property na nasa sarili mo lang. So, That's probably my more additional answer dun sa question mo. Walang certain cap. If talaga nabigay mo na. But if you're still in doubt na baka magkagulo or magkaroon ng discussion or dialogue later, have a cohabitation agreement. Sabihin mo kung ano yung pinahiram mo or joint sa inyo or sa'yo lang talaga or yung binigay mo na talaga.
Ito si Cookie Attorney, no? Tinatago niya yung pangalan. Cookie lang ho, pakitawag sa akin. Yung aking boyfriend ho, nangutang ho sa akin ng 5,000 pounds. Pero ngayon, ayaw na hong bayaran. Sabi niya, regalo ko raw. Ano ho dapat gawin natin?
That's right. Yun ang nangyayari ngayon. Yun ang situation dito. It's a classic situation.
Pagka humingi ba ng pera, kailangan papirmahin mo, no? Pero parang nakakahiya, di ba?
Hindi. What normally happens, and I hope...
Kung lambing-lambing ka muna, tapos bigla ka inutangan, no? Pero hindi, tapos ipoprove niya. Can you prove, parang ano ba yan? He said, she said, parang gano'n, ano matawag na expression yun? Kamukha nun, for example, si Cookie, paano niya ipoprove na inutang sa kanya, na hindi yun binigay niya?
Now, one thing na tinatanong ko sa mga ganyan na situation is talagang hahalupatin mo kung ano yung sitwasyon at that time. Sabi mo, Cookie, so paano niya sinabi na uutangan ka niya? At obviously, dahil kailangan mo yung money back, hopefully you would have done something to ensure na na-clarify mo sa kanya yon na boyfriend or balik mo sa akin to by this date ha, kasi may babayaran ako, kasi naka-savings yan, or kasi I'm trying to earmark that money for something else. So talagang kailangan mo yung full story para malagay mo either sa witness statement or makita mo, baka may WhatsApp, baka may reference yung bank transfer. Alam mo naman yung mga bank transfer dito may kailangan ng reference, baka may nakalagay doon, I love you babe, utang ko. Just in case, baka may reference doon. We have to look at those things. Failing which, talagang magiging he said, she said na situation yan. Lalagay mo yung witness statement mo and hopefully, yung kabila, yung hindi nagsasabi ng totoo, ay magka-crumble sa cross-examination. Kasi makikita mo naman yan But it's a very risky thing to do. So if you intend for something, for kung baga pinautang a loan to be repaid back, talagang it's better na may paper trail tayo. Kahit text man lang yan, kahit WhatsApp lang yan, kahit Facebook Messenger lang yan. Doesn't need to be a full na minsan kasi sabi mo nakakaya naman pasignan sa papel kahit na lang yan, uy, what you need is this. Ito yung na-send ko na sa'yo yung money, I expect this to be back by this date. Pakibalik by this date. So yun yung agreement nyo na A, sinabi mo na loan to, and B, sinabi mo kung kailan mo ine-expect na ibalik yung pera sa'yo.
Okay.
So that's all. Hindi mo na kailangan na And then, hopefully na agreehan nyo yan, dalawa. So, pwede mo i-confirm nun. Further to our conversation kanina, i-repeat ko lang yung napag-usapan natin. And then, paki-okay na lang. Tapos hopefully sa WhatsApp, nakalagay doon, double check. Na-read naman.
Okay. Nako, Shane, yung pang-Huwebes yung tanong mo. Pang-Huwebes, meron kaming programa dito, Immigration Corner, on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yung mga domestic abuse yan, pwede sigurong yung tungkol sa mga sa mga custody ng anak, no? Pwede natin pag-usapan dito ni attorney. Pero iba it's more of immigration yata to. Basahin ko lang, attorney, no? Pero basahin ko lang. Sabi ni Shane Santos, "Hi Sir Sunny, Attorney Dana. I'm asking on behalf of my friend. She's living in the refuge before and she was granted ILR. If ever po daw balikan niya ang asawa niya, pwede po daw po bang mawala ang visa niya o bawiin sa kanya ang visa niya? Now she has her own place daw po and she is on universal credit. And she said po, naghiwalay sila cause of domestic abuse. Then now the husband wants her to get back together or even daw po or ever daw balikan po siya asawa niya, bawiin daw po kaya ng home office ang visa niya." I don't know kung no? Pero it's an immigration
Yeah,
question,
probably
pero
best to ask Attorney Lira.
si Attorney Lira sa
on
Webes. So, gantong oras din,
Lira.
manood ka. Shane, baka bagong viewer to si Shane, no? Hindi niya alam ang kung paano, no? Alma Humilde is watching us, no? Nanonood. Christina Stanley, good evening. Karen Sayas, Irene Miller, good evening. Oh, Juliet Alviado Marcelina, mabuhay ka. Char McKenna,
Yes,
Isaac
Juliet.
Adumaco, Amir Chowdhury, Army Child, Shane Santos, okay, good evening. MR May Magpuyo de Mata, no? MR May, no? Malabo yung tanong mo, hindi natin maintindihan. Tess Marie, good evening, no? Mabuhay sa'yo. May
Mabuhay.
may nag-message sa akin, attorney, meron daw siyang may utang sa kanya ng 8,000 pounds, isang lalaki daw dito sa UK.
Yeah.
Taga Francia, Paris. Ano dapat niyang gawin?
Yeah.
Pwede ba yun?
It should. Oh yeah. Kailangan the same thing. Pwede niyang na kailangan niyang sabihin na jurisdiction dito kasi sabi niya 8,000 pounds hindi 8,000 euros. So pounds yung pinautang niya. We need to know na andito yung jurisdiction ng kontrata nila.
So kung euros ang pinautang sa kanya, walang jurisdiction, ganun? Maski taga dito
Hindi
yung
lang.
sa kanya?
Tinatry ko lang i-decipher kung ano yung story ng kontrata na to. Kung ang kontrata ba to ay nangyari, kasi sabi mo taga Paris siya Paano siya nagpautang ng 8,000 pounds? So maybe may connection siya sa UK. Meron siyang either pounds na savings or dito niya pinautang yung kaibigan niya. So what we need to do in the first instance is to satisfy ourselves na yung jurisdiction ng kaso ay dito sa UK. It seems from what he's saying, 8,000 pounds. I need to know a bit more kung may kontrata sila or may sinabi kasi pwedeng kontrata nagkaroon sa
inutang daw sa kanya sa inutang daw sa Pilipinas, attorney. Inutang sa akin nung nasa Pilipinas ako. Tutulong daw sa kapatid ng BF ko dati. Para makarating ng UK. Pero siya ang gumamit ng pera.
Okay. We probably have to need more. We need more information kung may jurisdiction siya sa UK kasi nangyari yung kontrata sa Pilipinas. Pilipinas pa yung transfer. I'm not sure kung ano yung nangyari. Kung
nakikita sa Pilipinas daw, doon inutang sa kanya. Pero taga UK yung lalaki, taga Paris siguro yung babae.
So we'll have to and then taga Paris siya just to keep things interesting. Where he's domiciled is it's probably going to. It's not a straightforward question because jurisdiction is not a straightforward question. It is possible. I have to double check on that one. It is possible na yung tinatawag namin nexus of the case kasi yung usual residence ng tao is andito, but we need to have sufficient link to this jurisdiction. So I think send me an email. It's very, very interesting. However, ito ang catch dito. Kung may jurisdiction ka man dito, it's still going to be a small claims matter. It's still going to be under 10,000 pounds. So, kahit magbayad ka ng lawyer's fees mo for us to or another solicitor to deal with the matter, at kahit manalo ka ng buong 8,000 pounds, ang makukuha mo lang pabalik na cost mo is your court fee, which is probably about 400 pounds, and your hearing fee, which is about 200, 300 pounds. So, yung babayaran mo sa abogado, you won't get that back. So, again, that's a reminder for small claims matter na you have to proceed with caution in terms of balancing the cost. So, nakita mo, it's a bit complicated yung case mo, a little bit complicated with the jurisdiction issue because we have to link that to this jurisdiction. I-add mo pa, so that means, I'm not saying you can't, I'm saying you just have to bear in mind, kahit hindi complicated yung cost mo, if it's below 10,000 pounds, you can't get your legal costs back, even if you win. You will only get your court fee back in your hearing feedback.
Ayan. Okay. Alright. Mag-break lang saglit, attorney, bago tayo magbalik at siguro magpaalam na, no? We have...
Yes.
Okay. Huwag ko kaya alas, saglit lang at kami ho ni attorney ay babalik. Saglit po lamang.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Alright, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program, no? I-flash lang to a few messages dito, no? Ayan, sabi ni Christina Stanley, ganda ng pangalan niya, Christina Stanley. Good evening din po, Sir Sunny, at sa Attorney Dana. Ayan, good evening, good evening. Okay,
Good evening, Christina.
Good evening, no? Tapos, ito, ano to, very successful sa mga properties to, no? Si Bernadette Bisdi, no? Tama ba pronunciation?
Twickenham.
Bernadette?
Good evening, Bernadette.
Bisdi, sabi niya. Ayan, hello to both, you both,
Keep safe
Attorney
there in
Dana
Twickenham.
and Sunny Laragan, no? Best wishes for a healthy and a prosperous new year, 2021. Cheers. Listening in Twickenham, no? Thanks.
Twickenham,
and regards.
yeah.
Nako, mayaman na itong kaibigan natin. Ito kailangan, ano?
Wow, galing.
Saludo tayo. Very successful. Maraming
Very good.
properties to US, Philippines, UK. Ganun lang talaga, no? Pwedeng, you can really, engineer your life katulad ni Bernadette, no? Mabuhay, Bernadette. Thanks for greeting.
Mabuhay,
Ikaw rin.
Bernadette.
Sana lalo pang dumami kung meron ka mga 30 properties all over the world, sana maging 60, no? Or 80 or even 100.
Or more, yes. Or more.
Pati siya, no?
Or more, yes.
Isang taga Ireland, kasama niya, no? Si Levi Liberty. Good evening kayo, mga investors, no? May yaman yung mga yan, kaibigan natin. Nag-message si DJ, sabi niya, attorney, masama kasi loob niya. Hindi ko alam kung sa atin daw. Hindi, sabi niya, Attorney Dana and Sir Sunny, medyo di ko ma-type ma-type ang problema ko. Pero noon, ba't tinype mo noon? Naka-type. Dahil till now, masama pa din loob ko. PM ko na lang po kay Sir Sunny Laraga na talakayin yung next program mo po. Salamat po, Attorney Dana and Sir Sunny. Have a nice evening po.
PM mo na lang.
Sir Sunny. PM mo na lang. Sige, i-message mo lang para
Walang problema, DJ Red.
Oo, masama
PM
talaga
mo lang.
loob mo, no? Talaga naman. Pagka masama ang loob mo, basta ingat ka lang, ha? Sana hindi maging masira ang New Year mo, no? Itong taon na ito. Kailangan lang,
Oo nga.
tibay lang ng loob, no? At siguro magsayaw ka, kumanta ka, no? Or anything na po pwede mong gawin. Tapos i-video mo siguro.
Happy
Parang sa ganun malay mo, bigla mag-viral, no? Di ba? Hindi natin alam Di ba, attorney? Di ba? Ikaw ba, kumakanta ka, attorney, di ba?
Hindi talaga.
Kumakanta ka naman, di ba? Kumakanta ka.
Hindi po
Sumasayaw ka rin.
talaga. Hindi rin po talaga.
Really, ha?
Taga-legal advice lang po ako.
Uy, diyan ka namin mahal sa legal advice, siyempre, because of your expertise na binibigay mo sa ating mga kababayan, no? Maski paano, unti-unti. Kita mo, hindi ko makalimutan yung pagkagantong kaaga ng year, pag nag-New Year, maraming nagdi-divorce, so, di ba? Dahil nga, siyempre, di ba? Although yung divorce na yan, matagal nang siguro, talagang the previous year, talagang nagtitimpi-timpi lang siguro, no? Di ba? Pinipigilan talagang hindi na kaya, hindi na pwedeng gawa ng paraan, no? Oo, pagka wala hindi pwedeng gawa ng paraan, move on lang.
Di nadaan sa kanta at sayaw, kaya
Exacto, yes, attorney.
Di nadaan sa So,
Attorney, we really missed you, ha? Talagang it's nice to have you back again. Alam mo naman, every time, ang ganda lang ating dalawang episodes na ano pangalan ng damit mo? Ano tawag mo?
Shalawar Kami.
Shalawar.
Shalawar Kami.
Oh,
ngayon, naka-shardigan. No, joke lang.
Naka-shardigan ka nga, ha? Naka-cardigan na, naka-shardigan. But it was good. It was nice seeing you in a different setting and the different attire. And you were more or less blending in, no, with the country and the culture you were in. Although you were kind of spoiled because you were the only one, parang they were celebrating Christmas for you in a way. Diba? Birthday mo. And how was it? Birthday mo, nandun ka. Christmas, nandun ka. New Year, nandun ka. How was... We didn't get a chance to talk about the New Year. How do they celebrate New Year? Nagpuputukan ba? Ano ba ang mga... Ganun din.
I stayed sa accommodation ng company. But may putukan, naririnig. Parang Pilipinas, naririnig mo din yung putukan po.
Malayo ka ba sa Malayo ka ba sa pinaka-main town center? Ganun?
Hindi naman, nasa town center kami, naririnig ko yung, nakikita ko at naririnig ko naman yung putukan, but it was very laid back, hindi ko na, medyo towards the end, palapit na kami doon pabalik ng UK, medyo pagod na ako, so very laid back, kaano ko lang yung mga taga-Pilipinas at taga-UK na friends ko, so I was calling up friends and family during that time, but very similar, hindi man yung Noche Buena, but more on, lang din, pareho lang, fireworks pa din. So that's, I think walang major gatherings, just like us in UK, medyo a little bit laid back yung mga celebration this year because of the pandemic. But all in all, very, very happy yung welcome nila, very hospitable.
That's good. And it was nice seeing you there, no? And 5-hour time difference and medyo puyat ka, and yet you really, were with us and nagkasama-sama tayo, nakaugnay ka namin, and it was the best time of the year kasi holiday season yun Andun ka, di ba?
Yeah,
and then you were celebrating your birthday.
Yeah.
In fact, we were on air on your birthday, no? Technically.
That's right. Yeah, that was pretty special. That was very, very special.
So happy birthday na naman. So looking forward to...
Thank you.
Di ba?
One more year.
One more year. Yeah, we're looking forward to ikaw na na maging successful lalo, and to have you na syempre everybody, all of our viewers, ibang friends na natin yan Parang sabi mo nga, meron tayong support bubble by way of this program, no? Magkakaibigan na tayo. Maski paano yung gabi nila on a Tuesday nagiging informative. At the same time, they can smile seeing us and seeing you, no? So thank you. We want to thank you, no?
I'm coming home to my Filipino home every Tuesday. Para sa akin, yun po yung nilolook forward ko every Tuesday. Every happy Tuesday, I come home sa friends, parang kapamilya na rin, kabarkada, ka-community, ka-support bubble, ka-Filipino support bubble. So, it's nakakatuwang umuwi sa tahanan na to. So maraming salamat.
Yes.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Laragan. It's always
Maraming salamat din. Sabi ni ni DJ Red, attorney, no? Salamat po, Sir Sunny Laragan and Attorney Dana. Nag-enjoy ako sa panonood sa inyo at very informative ang topic niyo po. God bless you both, no? Wow, happy
God
birthday,
bless you
attorney.
as well.
Birthday niya ng 29 yung show natin, 30th yung birthday mo, di ba? Yung Rizal Day. No?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, happy birthday, attorney. You're so lovely, Dana. Attorney Dana, you're so lovely, ma'am. Ayan. You're
Thank you. And
Sige.
keep safe. Balik-balik dito. Balik-balik
Oo.
dito, DJ Red. Dito sa support bubble natin. Ha?
Yes.
Happy Tuesday tayo dito.
Ayan, at may tinatalakay naman si attorney every week. Kamukha nito, today, tinalakan niya yung mga bagay-bagay na maaaring maka-apekto sa iyo during this pandemic, no? Yung, yun nga, yung mga ano pa yung sinasabi mo, attorney, yung mga sa mga, ano tawag dito, yung mga custody claims or custody things, no? If you want to see your kid, no?
That's right.
Maaaring mapabilis yan, no? Ayan, siyempre, kailangan pag-usapan ko ano yung pinaka-best interest para sa bata at yung mga pagbili ng
Very good.
bahay, no? At pag-ikot-ikot pa, pwede pa yan. Attorney,
That's right.
baka paalam tayo sa kanila. Baka meron ka pang biglang nag-cross ng mind mo, ay nakalimutan kong banggitin kanina. Babanggitin ko. Or, meron ka nang babatiin pa. Go ahead, attorney.
I just want to say, keep safe to everyone. It's sa atin dito sa UK. Again, we're facing another and probably the strictest lockdown for the last 10 months. Keep safe, kapit lang, happy Tuesday, every day kahit hindi Tuesday. And balik-balik lang dito sa tahanan at support bubble natin kasama si Mr. Laragan. And from the bottom of my heart, maraming salamat po for also giving me my own virtual support bubble. It's always a pleasure. So keep safe and hope to see you next week and the coming weeks after.
Yes, looking forward for more, no? Talagang, ito, ngayon, kamukha nito, we see a lot of people na tuning in na parang hindi natin nakikita, no? Na, pati nga itong mga, yung mga biglang, okay yun, yung program, tapos napapadalaw sa atin. So, make it a habit ho, no? This is a Happy Tuesday. Sino ba nagpangalan ng Happy Tuesday? Si Edgardo ba? Kagasyan? Enriquez, no?
Yes,
Siya ang
Special
promotor.
shout out kay Edgardo. Yeah.
Edgardo.
Special shout out kay Edgardo.
Ayan, maganda rin. Success story yan. From, anong lugar ang pinanggaling niya, attorney? Nandun siya, sa, ano ba yung lugar na yun? Accountant siya?
Jersey ba yun?
Jersey ba? Jersey, yata.
Guernsey or Jersey?
Guernsey ba?
Guernsey.
Parang ganun eh.
Guernsey.
Parang ganun. Dahil
Yeah,
isang,
that's
isang tax haven na rin, masasabi natin. And then from there, he nagkaroon siya ng tier something, yung, ano ba mga tawag doon? Yung tier 4, tier 3 ba? Yung parang, ano ba yung, yung special talent skill or ano yata, ganun.
Yeah, highly migrant.
Ganun, yan.
Highly skilled migrant.
Highly skilled migrant, yan. So nagawa na niya ng paraan yan. Ayun.
Yeah.
Dami na lang mga hearts, mga like, mga biglang, pag nagpapaalam tayo, biglang nagpuputukan yung mga hearts, no? Putukan yung mga like at saka mga hearts.
Dumami yung puso na nagpaalam.
Oo, nagpuputo ka para sa mga pop, parang New Year. But anyway, maraming salamat to. Guys, make it a habit, no? It's our way of getting together, informative way, parang tayo nagkakasama-sama, nagkikita-kita, no? Nag-uumpukan tayo by way of this program. Ang boss natin, ang teacher ho natin, si Attorney Dana Quinto. Kaya samantalahin ho natin, no? Ibig sabihin, ganito, guidance lang naman, no? If you really need more advice talaga, you will have to talk to a lawyer. Kung talaga may mga particulars yan, siyempre itatanong naman sa attorney, no? At kung may kailangan nyo ng abogado, siyempre, but ito na ho. Yun, siyempre, mas nakakausap mo. Pwede mo ipaliwanag at ipaliwanag sa iyo na mas maayos, no? Kung ano yung sitwasyon ng case mo, no? Kaya ng advantage ng Pilipino o Pilipina ang ating abogado, no? O abogada. So, attorney, maraming salamat sa iyo, ha? At it's nice to have you again. You're making our Tuesdays happy. At kami natutuwa no, na nandiyan ka. At ikaw ay support bubble. No? Magkakasama tayo. Yung mga nalulungkot ho, ugaliin na lang ho ninyo.
Sama-sama tayo dito.
Oh, make it a habit to watch the program ho. No? Makita nyo ho lang kami. Okay na rin. Kung may gusto rin kayo itanong ho, i-PM ninyo kung nahihiya ho kayo. No? Okay lang. Pero, yeah, wala hong problema. This is for everybody. Ito hong programa na to ay, you know, parang mission ho ni attorney para sa inyo. Mission namin ni attorney para kayo ho ay to be enlightened sa batas dito sa UK ho. No? Pagka meron kayong kailangan, at least alam nyo, di ba, mas empowered kayo pag alam niyo. So, sa ngalan ho ni attorney Dana Quinto, no? Yung ating si lovely Madam. Ito po si Sunny Laragang nagsasabing salamat po sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay, no, at paggawa nito as your support bubble nitong programa natin and making it a happy Tuesday. Let's do it again next Tuesday. So till then, keep safe, keep healthy, ingat-ingat, and always sumunod ho tayo sa batas, no? Sumunod ho tayo sa restrictions kasi para sa atin din ho yan at para sa kapakanan ho ng lahat, so we could easily get out of this problem that we're in. So take care and good night. Sweet dreams kung kayo matutulog na maaga-aga pagkatapos nito show na to at tutulog na kayo diretso. So sweet dreams. Take care. See you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye!